Welcome to another edition of Living Simply and Fun. Today we'll be reviewing the Asylum 13 6x80. This rivals almost the stump or the log.
Well, this is bigger in size.
However, will it be better quality than the
Garzilla, which actually dwarfed this cigar, even though it was only 3 ring gauges bigger. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and pull off this lovely white cottonish material that reminds me a little of wax paper. Nice smell to it.
So it feels like the paper you get at the Christmas tissue.
Yeah, that's it. Tissue paper, basically. The tissue wrapping paper. The type of stuff you get in those gift bags where they push it all down in.
Yeah.
It's got a kind of faint musky odor to the outer wrapper, and not too much of a smell there. Same with the foot. Kind of holds that same thing. This is a Nicaraguan Puros, blended by Christian Iroa, who also did Camacho cigars and everything. So
this one here is going to have the first half is going to be Vijo, the second half is going to have Succos, and the third half is going to be
It is a
Lajero.
Nicaraguan Habano wrapper with Nicaraguan Cuban seed long filler. It's supposed to be medium to full bodied and about $8.75 a stick. No, don't do that.
I thought they could use a cigar. Anyways,
I'm going to go ahead and fire this up. This will take a while. Or maybe it'll take no time. What? Your lighters are there. I tossed them all over. What, you put them up after I put them down for you?
I don't even know what you did.
They should be underneath your towel then. Oh. Then you put them up after I put them down for you.
No, they weren't down today.
I gotta play with my lighter. I think it's out of fluid.
Well, let's kick the tires and light the big fire.
And I know I'm not purging this. My can's out of fluid. Oh well, that's enough. There we go.
Just so you know, for the record, everyone, a cigar like this, you need a portable torch, like one of those Coleman ones.
Flamethrower, more like it. Dang, having problems with the lighter today.
Want to use mine that's barbecued already? So, since I am first lit, Nubs here, I will give you, first of all, this lighter is sitting in the ashtray because it is just too damn hot to handle. First initial puff, I'm going to say. Which it seems I didn't even get the center part, did I?
Yeah, you got it. Seems kind of cocoa-y and sweet off the first puff.
Oh yeah, it's like opening up a can of Nesquik. You know, from the 80s when you had that in the little square cans. Tastes so great with creamy butteriness. A little half and half, I would say.
Kind of creamy, yeah, I'll agree with that. Cocoa-y. A little bit of sweetness to it, and a little bit of spice in there too. So far at this point, it's very appealing. Especially after this long day that we've had today. I decided that we'd try to clear up some space in our humies and go with these.
But how come, Wally?
Well, for one, this didn't want to really sit in my travel humidor where I was going to dry box it for a few days. But I don't think this needed any dry boxing.
You mean the leather topped mean?
No, my Herfy.
Your Herfy is too small for these things.
Oh, it fit in there.
We want to thank Johnny Stix for
Oh,
the
yes.
honor
Thank
to
you, Johnny
review
Stix,
this.
for this.
And
I know it's not an 8x80, but it's a 6x80, and that's an 80 no matter what, and that's what Rita likes.
However, I did find Johnny Stix joke to Aaron, who got me good recently, when they both basically tried to pull the, which I bought it too. I wanted to try it, but they said there was a 100 ring gauge nub.
Yep. A Skuro. I remember that it was a 100 ring gauge nub Skuro from Oliva. So, anyways, this is probably going to take quite a while to get to the halfway point. I see no reason to drag this out, as the flavors don't seem to be changing much from what we said. That kind of cocoa-y sweetness with, you know, a little bit of peppery spice. Not too much at all, though. And just, you know, very nice kind of cigar right now.
Right now it's got some really good finish. So let's see
Exactly.
how well it works.
Looks like this might be a winner. We'll see at the halfway point.
Let's hope it doesn't explode.
Yep.
Like the Garzilla, which we do not.
That's the problem with the 80 ring gauges. We have had an Asylum 13 in the past, and we were very impressed by it. So this is this because of the size. We are only doing this on the 80 ring gauge. In fact, the title of this will include 80 ring gauge because we don't want to end up, if this is a bad review, giving a bad review to the Asylum 13 because we know that's a good cigar.
We know we had the Asylum 13, the Ogre 6x70, I think it was.
Yeah, the Ogre was very nice.
It was a very
little wonky on the barber pull.
It was a decent barber pull, actually.
And we just recently did the straight jacket, which was very good. And I'm usually very impressed by Christian Iroa's work. So
I was just going to say the same thing, but he took the words out of my mouth.
It's like AJ Fernandez, to me. I've enjoyed almost everything AJ Fernandez has done. I've also enjoyed almost everything Christian Iroa has done. Pretty much those two blenders, I think, almost go hand in hand because their work is very similar to each other. But anyways, we will get to the halfway point of this. And
Stay
we will
tuned.
Get back to you.
Stay tuned.
Hello, and welcome back to the halfway point of this Asylum 13 6x80. This is one big cigar. Somebody said I must have very big hands. Actually, I have very small hands. It's a bit of a stretch to hold it between two fingers, but it can be done. Anyways, flavors I'm picking up, it's been very mild, very mellow. Decent finish, but it's not the longest finish I've ever experienced, but I can't complain about it. It's kind of got a slight honey flavor with maybe some leather notes, a bit of spice, and maybe some espresso in there. It's married pretty well. I'm enjoying it to this point. I've not had too many burn issues, but I have had a couple little hangnails that, big deal. Nothing to complain about, really. Garzilla was far worse in its construction.
I just want to say, first of all, I've had a couple wonky burns where I've left it go and it got worse, so I had to fix it. I believe it's just the large-sized cigars. But anyways, for me, I'm picking up mild flavors of hints of cocoa.
I forgot to mention there is those cocoa hints in there, too.
A light douse of honey, maybe a little taste of oranges, but nothing major. It's not really a complex bomb, you know?
But it's not exactly so ho-hum. There's quite a few flavors in here. They're just very soft, mellow, melancholy flavors. And this is listed as medium to full body, so I just wouldn't list it as being medium to full body.
This is the crap I'm getting right now on the cigar. where you gotta fix it, you know, or it's just gonna get worse, you know. So,
and mine has been pretty much like that all the way around. So
there you have it. Please stay tuned for the final third.
see you at the final third.
Welcome back, everyone, to the final third of this
Asylum 13, 6 by 80.
I was going to say 6 by 30 for some stupid reason. Or 6 by 13, duh.
Well, I've had some minor construction errors as the wrapper is cracked down there. That's almost a given usually in these 80 ring gauges as they heat up.
Mine's just a little wonkiness for you out
I've
there.
had some minor wonkiness, no big deal. It's an 80 ring gauge. It's going to happen. Haven't needed a fix really to speak of, even though it just does not want to burn evenly. That's okay. A lot of coffee and espresso flavors in here. A little chocolate in the final third. Some cedar. A bit of spice. I can taste some Lajero in here.
I was going to say I agree completely with what he says. I cannot fault him because everything he said flavor-wise, I am picking up as well.
The only thing I'll say is in the final third here, it's gotten very nicotine-rich. This is very strong in nicotine. Fairly medium-bodied now to medium full.
I was going to say the same thing.
It started out as fairly mild without much nicotine, but as it's gotten into this final third, it's been a bit of a killer.
I just wanted to say again, as a joke in the first third that when we lit up, it's got a little Vijo, a little Secco, and a little Lajero.
You love that CI thing about the know-it-all. But, you know, that's part of our job is to kind of recognize these different flavors, etc.
Well, I do think in the CI thing, talking for a second about it, the guy that found the cut-up chunk of cigar, and he said, it's my good day. I've never had a cigar that tasted like butternut squash.
I don't know. I can't say. I'm not too familiar with butternut squash. It's something I've never cooked with either. I've never even made a butternut squash soup. So,
yummy. That's a good.
But we've had spaghetti squash and we've had regular squash.
Is there a spaghetti squash soup?
I don't know. Never tried. Never looked that one up.
Well, you better.
Anyways, other than the nicotine-rich, if you don't like nicotine-rich cigars, I would not recommend the 80 ring gauge here. As I said, it's causing me some lightheadedness, little bit of dizziness, and it would be better on a full stomach. And even though we ate, this is still doing the number on me.
We're going to have to eat dinner soon anyway.
Definitely feeling lightheaded from it. But it's been a fairly decent cigar for the most part, other than that slight wonkiness here and there.
Now, these come in boxes of 30, so from my own personal assistant who's on my phone, it is about $8.73 a stick.
Yes, and thanks for Johnny Stix for sending this, and thank goodness he sent this because this actually is working very well as a rest for this, because it will not sit in my ashtray, that's for sure. I'm actually using a cigarette ashtray, because the other ashtray is at my place right now. This is now, because I'm smoking it down, it is getting smaller and smaller where it's actually fitting in my ashtray. So, and I would say one other thing about this is this cigar definitely wants you to puff, 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 puff. It gets even wonkier if you don't, and it seems to want to tunnel if you don't. So it's a constant puffer, and that's kind of a lot on an 80 ring gauge to have a cigar that wants to puff that frequently. So, especially when it's so high. I assumed, just for all of you out there being nubs that I am, and I love these large ring gauge cigars, mostly I like the 4x60s, but 4.5x60s are good, 5x60, 7, 8, blah, blah, blah. Now, what I'm going to say about this cigar is, Aaron's completely right. It is a puffer, but the larger ring gauge cigars, I figured, packed right, would burn about 4 to 5 hours. These aren't like that. I smoked a 10x66 that lasted 5 hours the first time I smoked it. But I'd like to pretty damn close to 3 hours on this. Yes, exactly. The problem with it is, like I said,
It depends on the packing and how you smoke it, because, like I said, I got 4 hours out of 6x60 Maduro brick house, which cannot compare to anything out there that I've had in the past.
And I will say, if you do not like nicotine-rich cigars, do not. If you like the head buzz from a nicotine-rich cigar, go ahead. If you like a lot of flavors, this does do it. And for an 80 ring gauge, this is actually fairly much a winner. I just really don't think I can smoke too much more of this because it is kicking my butt.
I do want to say...
And I used to smoke cigarettes, and I don't know, this is like smoking a couple packs or something at one go.
I do want to say, talking about this cigar for a minute with high nicotine, I've had some really good nicotine cigars, but the main thing is if you ever get a hold of some Victor St. Clair 8.5 by 50s, you're going to get a lot of nicotine to get that huge power puff of blast, I should say, if you have one or more people smoking in the room, preferably two, with it not venting.
However, I will say something also, is that was right when we started back to smoking cigars, so it may not have been as nicotine-rich as we felt it was, too.
The other thing I wanted to say, for the record, for nicotine, before we sign off, is if you want nicotine, a real blast of nicotine, and you're a pipe smoker, check out Dunhill's Nightcap. That thing is a blast of nicotine. It's like more nicotine in one pipe full than what I'm getting on this cigar. But then again, it's kicking Aaron's butt. So, but you've had the Nightcap.
Yeah, and that doesn't kick my butt like this.
And Moppy decided to go outside.
He squeezed the window open just a little bit more so he could walk out there.
So there you have it. Please add and subscribe.
And we
Please
call
post
Blizzard
comments.
now.
Please leave feedback, suggestions, and may God bless you in everything you do.
If you smoke this and you agree or disagree with us, please leave your comments as well. Just try to keep it nice. That's all we ask. And enjoy every puff.